San Jose Barracuda defenseman Leon Gawanke joins the show today, where we're going to chat about coming from Germany, kind of the rise of German hockey, his trade to San Jose, and of course, get to know Gawanke off the ice a bit. So all that and more on today's episode.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite teams in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, and I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly a part of the Locked On Network, we cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everydayer, all you got to do is just follow along wherever you get podcasts, or you can subscribe on YouTube as well, or do both. Both is great. So today we have Leon Gawanke, who is I was very excited about him when he was coming over from Winnipeg, and he's starting to kind of find his footing with the Barracuda. So before we get to Gawanke, I do want to let you know that today's Sharks game, when they play the Flyers tonight at 7:30, as the Sharks, can they just not give up 10 goals in the game? Catch the puck drop from the hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Sharks. And before we get into it with Gawanke, I do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you guys by FanDuel. Make every moment more right now. New customers can get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. And now we bring in San Jose Barracuda defenseman Leon Gawanke. Leon, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, good. How are you?
Doing well. We are recording this on Halloween, so I see you're wearing your best duck costume there. But wanted to get you on to bring, kind of talk about your path to San Jose and kind of your hockey career. So when did you realize that hockey could be something for you?
Well, it was back in Germany, obviously. I mean, I kind of got into hockey in a strange way. Like, none of my family ever had to do anything with hockey or like anything. So I just went to a game once with my dad because he got tickets, and ever since then I loved it and I wanted to go to the game. So I had to play hockey. So they took me to practice, and then I was playing soccer and hockey both at the same time for several years, and then eventually it would take so much practices and everything, so I couldn't do both anymore, and then I had to make a decision, and then I decided for hockey. Luckily, it was a tough decision at that time because I'm a really I'm really into soccer and I love playing soccer. But at that point, I was just I don't know. I just decided for hockey, and then I got drafted to the Q. Played 3 years in Cape Breton. Got drafted to Winnipeg. Was there for 4, and then now this summer I got traded to San Jose, and now I'm very happy to be here in a nice weather and nice environment and everything.
I know you see a lot of guys who start out with kind of the soccer background and then they kind of switch to hockey. What is it you think of between the two sports that's so relatable?
Oh, I don't know. For me in Germany, it's just every little kid starts playing soccer. People kids in Canada, for example, have skates on with 2 or 3, yeah. And I had soccer cleats on with 2 and 3 right away. So it was kind of just I think you can't really get around it because all your friends are playing, everyone. And then in my home little village, there was one soccer team and everyone was on it. So kind of like this. And then hockey kind of took over, and it was at that point, it was just way more fun for me. So so for me, it's kind of just because everyone in Germany did it, I did it too.
Makes sense. You talk about you're from Germany, and I wanted to ask about the growth of hockey in Germany, right? You have, of course, Nico Sturm, who plays for the Sharks. You have Tim Stützle, who every Sharks fan is connected with for draft reasons. You have this guy Leon Draisaitl, who's pretty good. What do you think's been the key reason for the growth and development of hockey in Germany?
I think just the way they start working back home. I think there's a lot of strides in the right direction over the last couple of years. And then I think a very big part also is the success we had with the national team over the last few years. I mean, it started off with the crazy Olympics that they had where they got second, and it kind of it grew the sport so much. Like there was so many people that were literally texting me and like, hey, I just watched hockey for the first time and it's actually amazing. And people were like waking up early just to watch hockey at that point. And then like in the last couple of years, we were doing really good at the World Championships as well. And I think just in general, it's growing and people are starting to notice and realize what nice of a sport it is. And then on the other side, like I said before, there's a lot of guys who are going in the right direction with the development of German hockey. I think they're having like some rules in the DEL with like the under 23 German players and all of that. So all of that helps. And I think even, if you look in the NHL, there's a lot more than there used to be. But even in the junior leagues, like in the CHL, I remember at my time, I was the only guy with Manuel Widerer who played here too. In the queue, and now there's like at least in every league there's a couple Germans. So it's coming, it's growing, and it's heading in the right direction, and it makes us very excited for the future.
I mean, you've like you said, you've played for your country. What does it mean to represent your country?
It's awesome. It means a lot. Obviously, it's everyone's dream. I think in Europe, kind of the World Championships are like the number one thing, and everyone's kind of like looking forward to the World Championship and wants to play for their country. Eventually, it's like kind of the biggest thing growing up in European hockey. And it was awesome to play in these World Championships now, and then to put on the jersey in pro hockey for the first time was obviously amazing, and it's always an honor to be fighting for my country, like to be playing for my country. Let's say it that way.
Which non-German country has the best sweater?
Best sweater?
Yeah.
I really I'm not just saying this, but I always really love the US, like with the stars, and I really love the blue and everything. So and I actually traded like a hoodie with Mikey Asimont
nice.
at the World Championship, because I was like, man, these USA hoodies look so nice. I need one. So
For me, it's Team Sweden. I don't, just because I like really bright colors.
Crown. Yeah,
I like the yellow and the yellow and the blue, like the yellow with the blue font and everything, and the blue stars. Those are my favorite. I need to get a hold of one. But who was your favorite player growing up?
Erik Karlsson.
Oh,
he's he's just always been kind of like I was always like a righty defenseman, and then as a kid, like in Germany, I didn't watch too much NHL, to be honest, but I always knew him, and I remember him in Ottawa and all that stuff. And then I actually got to skate with him this summer for a couple of times. That was pretty cool for sure.
I'm sorry, Erik Karlsson is amazing. It's just bad timing. So who did you try to model your game after? Was it Erik Karlsson, or did anybody you try to model your game after now?
To be honest, like back then when I was like looking up to guys and everything, I was kind of more looking in the German league. Like I was a really kind of like just at home, and I liked the DL. Like the Berlin team was my favorite team ever. Like growing up, I had season tickets, all of that. So I was kind of just like looking towards their guys a little bit. But then on the other hand, like I would follow, obviously, like I'd see what Carlson does and all of that. And then, I don't know. I don't really have a player that I model my game off. I mean, I do watch like a lot of hockey, but then I think there's so many defensemen by now that are like fun to watch, like Makar, all these guys. It's just incredible how they produce offense. So, it's just great to watch them.
I feel like we're in a golden age of offensive defensemen between you've got Makar, you have Carlson, of course, you got guys like Quinn, Hughes up in, and then you have you just have all the Hughes brothers who are just amazing. It feels like the blue line it's going to be a golden age of offensive defensemen here. So, I guess before we continue with Leon Gawanke, we talk about the trade that brought him to San Jose, how he was basically on his way to Germany already before he finds out that he's coming to San Jose. Just need to take a quick break here and talk to you guys about our good friends over at FanDuel. And if you want to snap into the NFL season, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get on the action. The app is super easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. Christian McCaffrey, anytime touchdown, and just Sharks goalie saves over. Just take the over on that. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. You moved to the Q, as you talked about, when you're age 15 or 16. First of all, how's your French? And then second of all, what's it like moving to a different country across, an ocean at that age?
Yeah, well, first of all, my French is, I don't think it improved much. To be honest, I can tell you a couple swear words that I picked up.
I was going to say that's probably the ones you learn them quick, Chris. Yeah, the swear words.
I learned them in my first couple of weeks there. No, but since I was in Cape Breton, which is Nova Scotia, so it was all English. I was kind of really only around mostly English, and then in the room, obviously, it was half French, half English. But actually learning, I had it in school for 4 years, but yeah, I'm just very bad at it, so I don't really understand or talk anything. And then, on the other side, it was a big move. Obviously, for me, it was my first time ever being away from home, and then not just being away in a different city, you're in a different country. You're kind of across the world, and you can't just go back like this. So it was definitely challenging. But like I said in previous interviews, I can only advise to anyone from Europe that has the opportunity to play in major junior hockey over here. They should definitely do this, just because it's so much easier to develop here. You have so much more opportunity and so much more coaches that work with you and that have way more experience and stuff. So I had a great time in Cape Breton. I had great billets. They helped me a lot. My teammates were awesome. So after the first couple months where you're obviously the language barrier a little bit and all of that, I got comfortable super quick. And I can only show love for Cape Breton, that's for sure.
Yeah. And then you mentioned, right, you're drafted in the fifth round of the 2017 draft. What was your draft experience like? Did you stay home? Did you go to Chicago for the draft? Kind of tell us about your draft experience.
Yeah, I was home because I wasn't really sure if I was going to get drafted or not. When you're a later round pick, it's kind of hard always to see. But I was at my buddy's birthday party, actually, and we all watched it together there. And we had a YouTube stream, and it was obviously it was lagging a little bit and behind. So I remember 2 picks before me, we were 2 picks before, and I got a call from my agent, and he called me, "Yeah, you just got drafted." And I was like, "Wait, what? We didn't even see that yet." And then he told me, "Yeah, you just got drafted to Winnipeg," and everything. Then obviously Chevy called me and everything, and then I went back and. While I was talking to them, I heard them scream all 2 or 3 minutes later once they saw it. And then I just head back. We were still celebrating a little bit, and then I already had to jump into the plane the next morning and go to Def Camp. But it's something, obviously, a day I'll never forget. And that feeling I had once I got that call, it was something special for sure.
And then you played a fair amount of games in the AHL. I know, though, it was always crazy with the COVID, right? You went back to Germany to play a couple games, then kind of when the AHL gets started. What was the COVID year like for you? Because I know it's so crazy for everybody during that time of trying to figure out where you're going to play, trying to continue to play, but of course dealing with all the COVID issues.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough year, I think. Well, first of all, we didn't know what was going on for forever, and then the German league started playing, and then I trained with them the whole time already. So we were like, me and my agent, I might as well I would like to play here, obviously. And then I saw a bunch of guys going to European teams just to start playing, and all of that. And then I started playing for Berlin, and then the Jets camp started, and I didn't get invited, so I thought I'd just stay there the whole year, maybe played a full year. They actually won it that year too, so that would have been something pretty cool. No, but yeah, and then I got the call. I had to come back to AHL, and we played a year in our practice rink without even they told us already before that there wasn't going to be playoffs or anything. And it was definitely a tough year, but I'm glad all of that is over now, and we finally can play in front of fans again and everything.
Last year you tied the AHL lead in goals for defensemen with 20. What makes you such a dangerous scorer from the blue line?
Oof, I don't know. I think last year it was just all going in for me. No, I don't know. I think in Manitoba, especially on the D-core, we were so confident in each other, and we knew each other for so long, and it was we read of each other really well. And I played with great teammates there that I played with for over 3 or 4 years now. So we kind of always knew, and then they knew in what spot I am, and if I would get the puck in that spot, I can put it in the back of the net. So it was kind of both just getting opportunity and then obviously hitting them too. So overall just everything worked kind of my way last year, and I had a great year for sure.
I guess it was reported that you were actually going to be heading back to Germany until you got traded. Were you kind of surprised when the trade came up, or kind of what happened in that time?
Well, it was at that point I was a little surprised, to be honest, just because it was kind of late already. It was after the draft, and I thought I always had the hope that I was going to get traded at the draft or something. Then it didn't happen, so I was like, okay, well, I already packed my bags, and we were already moving to Mannheim that week actually. And then I got the call on a Sunday night, I remember, and they just told me, you're gonna get traded to San Jose and everything. And then I was just so happy to know that my career over here is not over yet, and that it kind of worked out what my plan was to sign in Europe, and then hopefully I can get a different scenario over here somehow. And I'm very happy with the work my agent did, and very glad the Sharks are gonna give me the opportunity now to play for their organization and to hopefully make it here.
All right, before we get to know Gawanke off the ice a little bit, do just need to take a quick break here and talk to you guys about our good friends over at Sleeper. The new NHL season brings all sorts of possibilities. The Sharks could maybe score 50 goals this season in total. The Sharks could win the draft lottery. You could also win big by playing daily fantasy hockey on Sleeper, the official daily fantasy app of the Locked On NHL Network. Sleeper is our number one choice for daily fantasy sports, especially daily fantasy hockey, because with Sleeper, you can win 100 times your cash in daily fantasy hockey contests. All you got to do is just pick some of your favorite players. Basically, whoever's playing the Sharks is usually a good way to go. Or if you want to pick some of the stars like McDavid, Crosby, McKinnon, and they'll record more or less on those Sleeper projection apps for things like goals, assists, saves, plus and minus, and more in a given game. To win the 100 times bet on Sleeper, you need to correctly predict the outcome of 8 player stats. You heard me, Sharks fans. You can win 100 times your money played daily fantasy hockey with Sleeper. So start paying attention and nail your picks so you can start winning big. Use promo code LOCKEDONNHL. You'll get a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. That's code LOCKEDONNHL. See Sleeper's terms of use for details and locational availability. Yeah. So, I mean, you've been in San Jose for a little bit. I know you mentioned the great weather. What's your thoughts on the Bay Area so far?
Oh, it's great. I lived in Winnipeg the last 4 years, so I didn't see too much sun there in the winter. But no, it's just awesome. Like just in general to be out here, be on the coast, have, like I said, the nice weather, and then just so much to do on days off. You can like explore so much. Like we went to Santa Cruz a bunch of times now.
Mm-hmm.
We went to San Francisco a couple times, and yeah, it's just a great spot to live on Earth. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's a little bit off, but if you get a chance to go to Yosemite, that's like it's a couple hours away, but like it's one of the most beautiful places in the world. It's a couple hours away. It's when you have a couple days off, but that place is
again?
Yosemite National Park.
Okay.
It's a few hours away, but it is absolutely gorgeous up there. So that's what I always recommend. So I know the CUDA have had a little bit of a struggle this season. You know, you guys had some trouble holding leads. What do you think is the big thing for the CUDA that you guys need to focus on to kind of get back on track here?
Yeah, I think it's just having a consistent effort for 60 minutes. I think obviously we're not off to the start that we wanted, but I think other than 2 games so far, we could have went with the win. Like we could have came out with the win that night. It's just like some little things that are biting us right now, and I think it comes with consistency, and then obviously it comes with confidence too. And confidence you can only get when you're winning, right? So I think for us it's really key to finally get this like second, third, fourth win, and then kind of get on a roll and start playing, because we showed that we're not that bad of a team like we are in the standings right now, and that we can definitely play with top teams like Coachella or even like Henderson is a really good team this year. So I think we got to stay positive here and got to try to keep our confidence, but then on the other hand also face reality and truth that it's just not been enough so far, and that we have to make sure we have a 60-minute effort, and that we can't have these like 5-10 minutes where we break down and receive like 3 to 4 goals and then we're just chasing the game. So I think obviously not the start we wanted, but overall I think we're still confident, and I think we can definitely turn the page around like later on this year now.
Yeah, and especially because it is a lot of new pieces kind of coming together right now for you guys. You know, you look at the blue line, it's basically completely different than what it was the end of the season last year, and a lot of new pieces. I feel confident you guys will get it together, but yeah, it's some early season jitters so far. So off the ice, what does your pregame prep look like? Are you a superstitious guy, a little stitious guy? Or are you more of a let it flow type of guy?
Well, I have my routine for sure, but it's not that if I don't do something exactly that way, it's going to throw me off or anything. But I'd like to keep it the same way. Like I'll always have my nap at certain times. I always know what I'm going to do first when I get to the rink, what I'm going to do second, and then I'm going to play the ball game at a certain time and stuff. But like I don't have like a super superstitious thing. Like it's kind of over the years, you build your routine. You know, you do this almost every second day in the month where hockey is. So with that, obviously comes routine, and then I try to keep it that way. But like, I'm not like totally focused on to do every step the same. No.
Are you a coffee guy before the game or no?
Yeah, coffee after I wake up from my nap. I need it, and then sometimes I have a second one before the game if I still feel a little not
iced coffee or hot coffee.
Hot.
Oh yeah, I'm the same way. It can be 110 and I want hot coffee. I can't do iced coffee. I don't know how people do it. So, what about music? Are you a like headphones guy or whatever the DJ puts on?
Oh yeah, at the rink I'll listen to whatever the boys put on, but before that in the bus or anywhere, like I'll obviously have my headphones in, and then I'll listen to some German rap.
German rap. All right. Who's the DJ right now for the Barracuda?
Cheech.
Cheech. Okay. Yeah. I know Robbins potentially, but I know he's been out for a little bit. So
I don't like Everson now. It's been always Cheech. Yeah.
Makes sense. All right. Question I ask every player. Socks and skates. Are you a monster who does not wear socks with your skates?
I wear socks for sure. I cannot do that. I don't know. I've really only played with one guy who always went in their skates without, and it freaked me out every time I saw that. So yeah, I'll definitely wear my big hockey socks.
All right. Last question. So what's your favorite off-season activity, or when you have a day off, what's your favorite thing to do outside of hockey?
Go to the Niners games.
So you enjoy American football?
Pretty big, like just in general. I love events. Like if I have the chance to see a game here, I'm obviously going. Like we went to a bunch now. No, but other than that, I'd say off season is definitely traveling. Like I love just seeing different spots in the world, and now with my career so far, I've been to so many different places, and it kind of just makes you want to see more and more, and like how it is over there, and just see different cultures and everything. So that's kind of how I would describe my off season, like the most fun stuff. And then I like my soccer team back home. I'm a huge soccer fan, so anytime they play, I'll be there and have fun with my friends at the game.
Leon, you've said it all. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Best of luck this season. Stay healthy, and hopefully we see you called up here sooner rather than later, so you can get that NHL game here.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, appreciate it. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed my conversation with Leon Gawanke. I think kind of looking at how the CUDA played over the weekend against the Calgary Wranglers, you could see the defense really starting to come together, and it's what's been kind of a very loosey-goosey defense for the Barracuda really played strong this weekend for them as they won. They lost the first game on Friday 0-1, but then they came back and won 4-1 over the Wranglers. And I think this is a big step and signs of things for the come as it feels like they do have two goalies that they can count on between Romanov and then Magnus Krona. And the defense guys like Gawanke and then Mukamadulin and Thrun, and I think Shimmick's played well too. If these guys can continue to kind of figure things out while the offense is still trying to click, I think the CUDA are only where to go from here. So I do expect Gawanke to get a call up at some point this season into the NHL because I mean we've watched the Sharks at some point, and they're gonna probably keep trying guys until they can find some sort of combination that looks decent. So I think for him, continuing to play strong, trying to, I think we'll see his point production go up as the offense kind of figures things out here, especially as they're getting reinforcements with Bordelot, and you hope Tristan Robbins gets back soon. Start to figure things out, and I think a guy like Gawanke should get an NHL opportunity this season. So that's going to be it for me today. We'll be back tomorrow to discuss the Flyers game. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts, or you can subscribe on YouTube as well. You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks, and you can follow me on Twitter at MyFryHole. Until tomorrow, bye, friends.